Slew.
This bill is aimed at minimising conflict between separated couples to make divorce not easier but kinder. Divorce will take a minimum of 6 months, with an average of 4 out of 5 divorces taking longer than under the existing law. Now, the 1996 Family Law Act identified funding for relationship support services as a necessary part of divorce reform, an approach which has been sustained by successive governments since the Denning Report of 1947. In 1999, the then Lord Chancellor, Lord Irvine, said that the 3 objectives of the 1996 Act were firstly supporting marriage, secondly saving savable marriages, and then thirdly, where marriages had sadly broken down, bringing them to an end with minimum distress. Now, I will always stand up and fight for people, whether they are married, never married, or divorced. And I also passionately believe that marriage is one of our most important and valued institutions that we neglect at our peril. The benefits of a couple pooling their resources, their time, and their energy are fantastic. In terms of the first objective of supporting marriage, marriage rates are at their lowest level since records began in 1862. And even more worryingly, the Marriage Foundation has pointed out that 87% of mothers from higher income groups are married, compared with only 24% of mothers at the bottom of the income scale. So the marriage gap is widening, which is a social justice disaster, and we need marriage for the many, not the few. Now, this bill is silent on marriage and relationship support, which is not good enough, given that there is no assurance of funding for this work after the end of this financial year. We know from research concluded after the 1996 Act that 1 in 10 marriages were saved at the point of divorce by offering counselling, and half those offered counselling took it up and managed the process of divorce better. Now, a much greater provision of the Separated Parents Information Programme is something that we owe children to reduce the distress that many of them will experience when the divorce process is badly managed. Prevention is always better than cure, which is why the provision of marriage and relationship support services is so vital. So we should celebrate much more the work of the Relationship Alliance and their constituent members, Relate, Marriage Care, 1+1 and Tavistock Relationships. They are all on the front line battling for social justice and a better society. Local authorities like Rochdale, with their Relationships Champions programme, which I visited, are leading the way amongst local authorities. Charities and voluntary groups and faith groups such as Toucan, with their Building a Happy and Healthy Life Together work. The inspirational Nikki and Scylla Lee with their marriage preparation course and marriage course work. And the Soulmates Academy, run by the redoubtable Jonathan and Andrea Taylor-Cummings, are all doing brilliant work and should be commended. So the government needs a cross-departmental programme to bring in the work of the brilliant antenatal charity Dads to Be to every NHS hospital, not just the 3 that it operates in at the moment. We should ensure that marriage registrars provide signposting to the very best marriage preparation, that all GPs are as good as the very best in terms of signposting to relationship support, and that brilliant charities like Explore, who do such excellent work in our schools to give children good role models of what healthy, happy and committed and respectful relationships and marriages look like, can be supported. Now, all these individuals, groups, churches and other faith organisations are doing brilliant work on the front line and deserve our thanks and support. Now, as we look to rebuild our economy after the ravages of COVID-19, it's not just economic matters that need our attention. It is also fractured and hurting relationships that we need to repair to a healthier, more respectful and more committed state. Madam Deputy Speaker, next month it will be 19 years since I made my maiden speech in this House. And on that occasion, I spoke of the importance of the family and strengthening family relationships. And it grieves me that the situation has got worse, not better, in those 19 years. And I stand here saying the same as I said to Labour governments in those first 9 years and coalition and Conservative governments since then. We need the political will together across this House from all our political traditions to put this issue higher up the political agenda. It's a social justice matter, it's for everyone, and I do implore the government to take it seriously and remember that we stood on a manifesto commitment that said strong families are the key to a strong society.